Conjugate this now. What would the feminine singular be? Well, we simply take the masculine, the perfect, third singular masculine, and to make it feminine, we're going to add hey, right? To make it second singular masculine and the rest of the perfect conjugation, that infix goes away. This syllable becomes shav, remember, and we get the form ho shav ta. With me? And from here on out, there's nothing new. But what is a little distinctive is now this first syllable with the mater letter. Working backwards, in other words, if you come to the form ho shav ta and you're kind of scratching your head going, I don't know what this is, well, what help do you have? Well, I suppose one thing you notice is the ta at the end. That's helpful information. What is just that ta telling you? It's telling you it's perfect, second singular masculine, right? All that from the ending. Now you're looking for a root letter, or you see some root letters in there. You see a hey at the beginning. Well, frankly, what else could a hey at the beginning be except for Hiphil, right? And now you see three root letters, and the first one is a mater letter O. Well, again, running what we've just discussed backwards, you realize that that's really a first yod, which is shown up as a wow and gotten pointed as a mater letter, and your root is yashav.
Same for the imperfect.
So although this looks a little confusing, once you sort of get the hang of it and see what's going on, it can be mastered. Now, Tim, what about the imperfect? You write, knowing what you know now, you should be able to generate the imperfect form, Hiphil imperfect of the root yashav. You make the call. See if you can write the form. Hiphil imperfect, the first form, third singular masculine of yashav. You make the call. All right, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to change the oops, I shouldn't make that a mater letter yet, should I? Change the yod to a wow, right? Okay. Now, how do we make it Hiphil imperfect? Well, the first thing we do is make it imperfect with a yod, right? Now we make it Hiphil, which would be pathak shwa plus infix. Right? Now what's going to happen here? This is going to do the same thing that happened in the perfect. And we're going to generate a mater letter instead of that short vowel schwa problem. Which mater letter? Once again, we're just sort of stuck with the O vowel, even though there's no other reason to have an O vowel there in the Hiphil. So the form is yo sheev. And if we would go on and conjugate the entire imperfect, well, now there's nothing you don't already know. Next form would be to sheev. What would this be? No sheev. See, and again, these get a little funny because you're kind of scratching your head wondering where that first syllable came from. The nun is in fact the prefix of the imperfect first plural common. Now we're shopping for a root. You see the infix, which is really helpful for telling you it's Hiphil, and we're left with these three letters, a wow, a shin, and a beith, which doesn't look like a verbal root until you realize that this is in fact the first yod root, yashav, and that's an old friend. Okay? Yeah, Tim.
First singular common imperfect, what we could do.
You tell me. First, you just want to do first singular common imperfect.
Yeah, you've got the
Well, what's the prefix?
The aleph at the beginning.
Good. Change the prefix to an aleph. What's the problem now? Can you do this? Answer, yes. You're done. You just did it. O sheaf. Looks a little funny. Is that your problem? It just looks funny. You don't like these.
Just a dead olive.
No, it's not a dead olive. It's a live olive.
Nothing under it.
Yeah, there's nothing under it, but there's a vowel after it. There's your syllable, right? Consonant, vowel. Consonant, vowel. Remember, the olive's a consonant. You just don't hear it. All right? All right, you make the call. Write the imperative. Write the imperative.
Oh, so that the hay comes back.
All right, what are you going to do? Or there's two ways you could get to this form. One would be to take, like, the imperfect and turn it into an imperative by the rules of the imperfect. Or, frankly, what I would suggest you do is start with the regular verb. What's the regular verb here? What's the first form of the imperative? The hay comes back, right? You learn these forms overnight, right? The hay comes back, but now instead of being the hic of the perfect, we have the hoc of the imperfect. What about the second syllable? Do we have the infix or not? In the first form of the imperative, we do not. There's the regular verb, hoc, tail. Now, let's apply what we know about the irregular verb, yashav. Well, first thing that happens is that becomes a wow. We'd add our hey, pathak, dag.